Hello, my name is TyraKey, and tonight we're going to talk about online learning versus e learning or online and e learning. So, within this presentation, we're going to talk about community of inquiry model, the three generations of distance education, future of e learning, my personal ed tech system, some key takeaways, references, and then my contact information. So, let's get started. Within the community of inquiry model, it generally is an influential theoretical framework in distance education. The framework recognizes the importance of interactions between teachers, social and cognitive presences in creating positive and collaborative learning communities. So essentially, it goes through social presence, cognitive presence, learning experience, and teaching presence. Within the community of inquiry models, there are three pillars, which is cognitive, teaching, and social presence. All three pillars are important in consideration to designing quality in online learning. So, within the social presence, it's really the ability of participants to identify with the community, communicate purposely in a trusting environment, and develop interpersonal relationships by way of projecting their individual personalities or what their course or what they're studying. Within creating social presence, really the goal is students to apply skills of communication, collaboration, and expression. For teaching presence is really is the design, facilitation, and direction of cognitive and social processes for the purpose of realizing personally meaningful and educationally worthwhile learning outcomes. So, really, the goal in teaching presence is to strategically design and organize the course with meaningful deliver of content and materials. Within presence, it is really is the extent to which learners are able to construct and conform meaning through sustained reflection and discourse. So, really, the goal in cognitive presence is to develop an understanding of course content, build skills of critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and self regulation. So now we're going to break down the models just a little bit more. So once again, social presence. The goal is for students to apply the skills of communication and collaboration and expression. So how you can support that is really by creating social learning activities such as discussion posts or group work, using discussion boards and online social learning platforms, inviting students to share their personal and professional experiences, or using icebreakers that build trust and give students an opportunity to introduce themselves and meet other people within their classroom and their peers. Within teaching presence, the overall goal is to strategically design and organize the course. How you can support that is providing timely and supportive feedback to each student, providing explicit expectations, directions, and criteria, creating a positive learning environment, interacting with the student regularly, and building a peer feedback element into each assignment. And lastly, for the cognitive presence, we know the goal is to develop an understanding of course content. And how we can do that is incorporating frequent assessment and feedback as well, giving multiple opportunities for retrieval and rehearsal of each knowledge or topic, identifying big ideas and helping make connections. And then lastly, having students reflect on experiences and learning environments. So really taking what they learn and trying to get them to regurgitate it back to you. So now we're going to get into the three generations of education. Within the three generations of education, we have cognitive behaviorists, we have social constructivists, and we have connectivist pathology. So first, we're going to talk about the cognitive behaviorists, and really, behaviorists Cognitive behaviorists really focus on the way in which learning was predominantly defined, practiced, and research. Behavioral learning theory begins with the notion of learning, which are generally defined as new behaviors or changes in behaviors that are acquired as a result of individuals' response to stimuli. So, generally, a major behaviorist learning theory included American psychologists Edward Watson and B.F. Skinner, so the Skinner model, and it really led directly to the instructional designs and inventions of the Keller plan, and Robert Gange's events of instruction. So those 9 events of instruction that we've learned about in previous models. Next, we're going to go over social constructivism, which is the sociological theory of knowledge according to which human development is socially situated and knowledge is constructed through interaction with others. So basically, all the models have more or less the common themes, including the importance of new knowledge as building upon foundation of previous learning, context in shaping learners' knowledge development, learning as active rather than passive process, language and other social tools in constructing knowledge, learning environment as learner-centered and stressing the importance of multiple perspectives, and really knowledge needing to be the subject of social discussion, validation, and application in the real-world context. So, really, an example of this is, for instance, collaborative and cooperative learning involves students sharing background knowledge and participating in reciprocal nature in order to negotiate and settle on a shared constructed meaning. And lastly, we have constructivist pedagogy, and it suggests that students should combine thoughts, theories, and general information in a useful manner. It accepts that technology is a major part of the learning process and that our constant connectiveness gives us an opportunities to make choices about our learning. It promotes group collaboration and discussion, allowing for different viewpoints and perspective when it comes to decision making, problem solving, and making sense of information. Connectivism promotes learning that happens outside of an individual, such as through social media, online networks, blogs, or information databases. So the main principles of this pathology are learning and knowledge resist in diversity of opinions. Learning is a process of connecting. Learning may reside in non-human appliances. Learning is more critical than knowing. Nurturing and maintaining connections are needed for continual learning. The ability to see connections between fields, ideas, and concepts is a core skill. Accurate, up to date knowledge is aimed for all connectivist learning, and decision making is a learning process. What we know today might change tomorrow. While there's a right answer now, it might be a wrong answer tomorrow due to the constantly changing information climate. So, for an example, social media. A class Twitter account can be used to share information, engage discussion, and announce homework tasks. So now we're going to discuss the future of e-learning. So the future of e-learning can come from artificial intelligence with AI-powered tools. Learners can receive personalized recommendations for courses and content, as well as real-time feedback, support. And within machine learning, algorithms can help identify knowledge gaps and tailor learning experiences to individual learner needs. Another new one is virtual reality and augmented reality, which can be used to create immersive stimulations and scenarios that will allow learners to practice real world skills in a safe and controlled environment. And then, last but not least, we have gamification or game based learning. Within gamification, we're using game design principles to make learning more engaging and interactive. And we do that by adding elements like points, badges, and leaderboards. Educators could incentivize learnings to complete courses and achieve their learning goals. Game-based learning tasks like this one step further by using actual games as a learning medium. This approach can be particularly effective to teaching complex concepts or soft skills. So now when going through all of that and thinking about how I would kind of take new technology and make it my own, um, for my job in doing like onboarding and making onboarding, next level, thinking about augmented reality onboarding. So using augmented reality, we could show new possible educators or educators that just got hired the inside of the school they're going to be working at using augmented reality. We can take the principals can take them on a tour of the school, or just principals within our district, they could do Q&A sessions using augmented reality to show them and how they operate, basically. Or they can do it with student tours and magnet school tours. So, most places have school choice here in Florida. And usually we just have it all in one place and people just hand out brochures, but we could take that augmented reality and really do it for each school, where the parents and the students can take an augmented reality tour of that school and use it for that. And so that's just a really hard, rough draft of what I would want to use augmented reality for. So really the key takeaways of this presentation is that social media, technology, AR, VR, it's really evolving, it's changing, and it's upcoming. And I'm kind of excited to see where it takes us, because I'm really interested in VR and AR technology. So here are my references. And I'm looking forward to what you guys have to say in the comments below and how you guys are really thinking about the new technology that's coming about. Have a great night.